Hey y'all, it's Trisha, and I just wanted to pop on and talk about what I'm using to create this next digital image. And these are from a little notebook that I had where I attempted art journaling. I'm not a big art journal fan. However, I have a lot of handmade books that I write notes in, do paint swatches in, ideas I write in. So any class I take notes in these little books. But I'm not a big art journaler. So this was one of my attempts at trying it. I still haven't ruled it out, but honestly, I don't know that I'll go in that direction. But these two I did try, and I really like these. So these are the ones that I pulled out from the journal. It was a small 10-page little thing. And this is the one that we're going to use today. And the reason I'm showing you these is because they're small. And I wanted you to see that you can use smaller items. The background that we're actually going to use is the same size as this, and it's gray and white. This is just a 1 or 2 pull from the gel plate on some cardstock. I think this is on a lightweight cardstock, and I saved those. And this is a very old collage on watercolor paper, and this is a gel plate transfer onto tissue, and just some other images. And I had an idea at the time. I can't remember what it was, but it didn't get finished, so it's in my stack of papers. And I photographed it, and I thought it would be a really cool thing to have. So we're going to use this in the image. And I stamped off with my favorite stamp from P&M Artist Studio. This one was designed by Patricia of P&M. It's probably my favorite stamp so far. I love Asemic writing. I do a lot of it myself, but I really like this stamp. And the company, PM Artist Studio, I'll link to them in the description box, has an angel policy, and I've written to them asking if it is okay to print on a piece of paper, photograph it, and use it digitally. And as long as you are not going to sell the stamp or sell the image or an image of the stamp, you can probably sell the image you make with it. But anyway, be respectful of other people's work. And so I did receive, she did tell me it was okay to use this in the digital image. I don't have any intention of selling this image. It was for me. It's for YouTube, and I might print it off and keep it in my house, but that's as far as that will go. But I did want to just let you know where this came from and that I'm going to use this image. And I didn't stamp it off perfectly, and that's fine with me, because the way I use it, it's not going to matter if it's perfect or not. So I just wanted to pop on and show you some of the elements that we're going to be using and how you can use your own jelly prints and drawings and whatever you have to create digital art. So I will see you in the next part. Hey y'all, it's Trisha. Back with the digital portion of today's image. I'm only going to use one major app and then maybe another app at the end just for the edges. But we're going to work primarily in Art Studio Pro. Sorry, let me get back out to here. And this is the image that we're going to work towards. As you can see, it has, looks like 14 or 15 layers in here. And so to start, now remember, one more thing, that I'm going to use the same blend modes, the same images, but it may turn out just a little bit different than this, because you can't ever make the same thing twice. But we're going to try. So I'm going to go up here to my plus sign, and I already have the document size I want down under the recent portion, the 3000 by 3000 pixels at 300 DPI. And that is a nice resolution for print. And the first image that I am going to bring in is going to be this image of a gel plate pull that I pulled on a 6x6. It's gray and white, and it picked up maybe some blue or something I had on the plate. And this is going to be our background. And I'm just going to place it on here and click the check button. Not much of this is going to show in the final image, but this is what I'm going to use. So the next one that I'm going to bring in is going to be another gel image, but this one has been put through that app Photoda and mixed with a couple of other things. And I like this image a lot. This little stencil in the middle here, in the middle of the black, that's actually a stencil I made. And it's I took some photos of these devil's claw plants. They're out in West Texas, and you see them some in our area, but not a lot. Anyway, when they dry out, they curl up in these weird curly shapes, and I really like the shapes. So I made some stencils from these photos I took. So one more image to go, and that is going to be the main image, which is this one right here. Now, I showed you the image that started all of this. This one has been put through Photoda to make that, to have it combined with some other images in the background here. And I've gone over that app in the last 2 videos I think I've done. So I'm not going to go over it again today, but that's how I got this image, and I saved this image out. But it is of the drawing that I showed you before in the intro. And up here on the top left, I'm going to mask that out because later on I'm going to need the separation between those two images to look a little bit better. And the way I'm going to do that is to go up under Layer and Add Mask, and I'm going to reveal all. And I'm going to paint with black. So I'm going to go choose a brush. And let's see, what brush do I have? This is just one of the charcoal brushes they have. I've lowered my opacity a little bit. And am I on? Nope, I don't have black. Let's put some black in there. There we go. So I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. I'll lower the opacity a little bit more. I just want to kind of soften this up right in here. And maybe you can always erase it by painting with white, but I think eventually I'm going to come back in here and correct that headdress. So I just want that part masked a little bit. So now I'm going to go back and grab yet another image, because that's what layering is all about. And this is another collage / jelly print that I made a while back. And I'm going to put this over here. And I believe I need to put this in the darken blend mode. Yes, I like that. Except I need to transform it to be a little bit big. There we go. I had a little white on the edge there, and I didn't like that showing, so that's what I want to do with that. And I've got some stuff going on that I don't really like around the head, this middle portion around the neck that I want to get rid of, and some other things. So I'm going to do the same thing with a layer mask. I use those a lot. You could use an eraser and erase it, but if you want to change that in the future, you're not going to be able to. So by using a layer mask, I can change this at any point. So I am going to go to black, and I'm just going to paint out this right in here. I don't mind if it goes up this way a little bit. No, I don't like that. Let me just lower the opacity of that. Just a little bit. Okay. All right. I believe that will work. Okay. So the next part of this image, I'm going to add the original drawing that I took a photo of, this original one here. And I'm going to turn it upside down because I want this strange this rounded part up here to be over here. All right, I think that's where I want it. I can move it if I don't want it, and I'm going to do one of the lighter blend modes. Screen color dodge. I like lighten. Lighter color. They're both about the same. So I'm going to go under the move tool. I'm going to reposition this. Maybe make that a little bit more out there. And I think, I'm going to turn it off and on to see what parts I want to mask off. Because I do want to, actually what I want to do is transform it just a little. Like this. There we go. Just to cover up a little bit on the edge over there. So now I am going to add yet another layer mask, reveal all. I've got my brush, I've got black, and I'm going to go with a big brush and a fairly low opacity. And I'm going to go with around the figure because I like the original figure, so I want to get rid of everything that was interfering there. And I want that black right here where it's attaching to the shoulder, because I've sort of named this image. I've named it baggage. I don't know why, it just came to me. I have a really hard time naming artwork. I don't know why, but that word came to mind immediately. Okay. So I think that's good. So next, I'm looking at her headdress, and I think it needs something else. So when I brought in the original image, I'm going to bring in the original image again and go down to bring in the original image. And what I'm going to try to do is, I'm going to drop the opacity. I'm going to try to line it up a little bit with the other one, even though I know it's not going to line up exactly. I'm just going to try to make it line up fairly close, because all I want to do is paint in the headdress. So I've lowered the opacity of the image so I can sort of line it up. that will work. So now what I'm going to do is when I add a layer mask, I'm going to choose hide all. So all of this is going to be hidden. And I'm going to reverse to white to paint with. So I'm going to take my brush a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to start painting right in here. Wait, is my, make sure that's up there. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of paint along here. And you see how it's bringing that other image in. And I think I'm going to go right to here. Just painting away. And I kind of like that there's some gray over here. Maybe a little bit down here. No, maybe not. Okay. All right. That's more or less what I want right there. So I've used the layer mask in Reveal All, which you paint with black, and Hide All, which you paint with white. So I am just about done, but I do want to bring in a bit of a textural element, because there's some that's really faint, like right here on the right hand side, and I want something similar to that. Now, in the intro where I showed you all of the images, I am going to pull in that image of the stamp from PM Artist Studio. This is the paper that we have here. And I'm just going to use pieces of it. First off, I am going to, actually, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select out as much of the white area as I can, and I'm going to click on Edit and Cut. Then I'm going to hit Deselect. Then I'm going to invert this because I want it to be white, and there, it's white. So I am now going to make it much smaller. I'm going to put some right there. I am going to copy this layer, and I'm going to go back down to this previous layer, and I am just going to erase the part that I don't want. Why is the eraser not working? Okay, why is the eraser not working? Okay, there. I'm just going to erase this part right here. And then I'm going to go up to the one I added. And I think I'm just going to add one of them over here. And then I think I want to add one of them over here. So what I'm going to do is add this over here and duplicate it again. Turn the first one off so I can work on the second one. and erase this portion right here. Play with it. Oh, I didn't get it all. And then this top layer, choose the move tool and move it over here. Oh, I just picked the wrong one. That's all right. I want this one over here. I'll go back to the top and I'll erase the other one over here. There, that's it. Okay. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and save the image because this is what I want. And you don't have to put an edge around this or anything. It looks pretty good like it is. You could stop here. We've just used the one app and we're good. But I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do a quick export as a PNG. That is a file format that is a little bit, preserves a little bit of the resolution and doesn't compress the image quite like a JPEG does. So this is chromatic edges, and I'm going to bring my image in like this. And it's just going to apply the last edge I used. But I'm going to go into edges, and I'm just going to look around and see if I like an edge over here. You could add just a plain black edge. There's nothing wrong with that. There are some edges off to the right that would be kind of cool to add. I actually really like this one. I do. I like this one a lot. I think that that is a possibility. I'm going to save it because I like it. But the nice thing about this app is most of these edges are customizable. You could go under Photo Edge and you could choose your edge. You could add a layer on here and add colors or anything you want. Personally, I think I had a user preset that I was using. Now these colors are all wrong because these presets were done for other images. So basically I am just looking at the frame. And I believe this is the frame I chose. And the only thing I changed on this was the color. There's this purple button right here. And I want more of that maroony red color. This one, to match the red in the middle. I wanted to bring a little bit more of that red in. So I added that, and that is the image that I chose. So I'm going to save both of those. And it is saving. There we go. Sometimes it takes a while for it to be completed.